It's time for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quanell X and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Don't play with me. Do not play with me. Do not play with me, because I'm not the one nor the two. You're not the one or the two. Let's go. You ain't gonna You ain't gonna do nothing.
Why you keep speaking on me for nothing?
Like I said, keep my name out your mouth.
Mine is always in yours for some reason.
No, some reason.
It all
Get out of here. Out of here. Out of here before I slap.
I'm not gonna smack.
Try me.
You think you're
I'm not trying me. Try me, Tinky. I be done drop kicked your ass. Out of here, you dirty.
I'm not dirty.
Yes, you are. Out of here. You and your raggedy ass.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
All right, Quanell, that was two raggedy B words that were both employees or are employees of Spirit Airlines, a viral video of them arguing over some sort of internal dispute amongst the desk staff at Spirit that is all over the internet at the same time that Spirit has just announced that just filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, which isn't we're going out of business bankruptcy and liquidating assets. It's a reorganization where they are preventing people from seizing assets or proceeding with litigation for failure to pay debt. And a trustee will get involved and try to straighten out the mess between Spirit and its creditors that apparently it has failed to pay. This, I think, is indicative of the type of airline, both the Chapter 11 and the argument between the two women about the 1, 2 better not be the 3, raggedy B word, F word, S word, whatever. I think it's just indicative of the Spirit experience, right? Which is this new America where low cost is king, where they nickel and dime you on every little thing. They pay employees horribly, so you get horrible employees. But it does allow people that can't afford the exorbitant plane flight ticket prices of other airlines to actually get to where they want to go. I mean, I wish it was a bit classier, but I think they're doing the job that they set out to do, and it's a sad testament to America.
But you started this debate, you started this segment by referring to the black women as two raggedy B words.
Well, that's what they were calling each other.
What the hell do you mean?
That's what they were calling each other.
But
Did you not listen?
You can't call those sisters B words.
Okay, I can.
They may have used that in a volatile argument to attack
Their
each other
behavior
verbally.
was raggedy.
But raggedy, yes. But to refer those two black women as the B
That's
word,
what they were calling
as a
each
black
other.
Man, I can't sit in that you do that.
Okay, so if they were white women,
I can't say that you do
if
that.
they were white women, it'd be
Let
okay.
me say this to
because
you.
I mean,
those were two women who were exhibiting some serious ghetto behavior in an argument in the workplace.
Okay?
Now, Spirit Airlines,
women.
aka Soul Plane, aka out the bottom of the hood Barrel Airlines, aka fresh out the Trailer Park Airways, we know what Spirit Airline is. In fact, we watched 3 male employees just several months ago come from behind the counter and whoop a customer unconscious who was just disagreeing with them. So this kind of behavior is not surprising to me with Spirit Airlines.
But it's not raggedy
because you
to you
get
either.
what you pay for.
But it's not raggedy either.
It is raggedy, but I'll be damned.
Okay.
I sit here as a black man and let you refer to two black women as the B word.
Okay.
No, brother, we can't do that.
B words. Yesterday,
no.
Last time we did a show, you were calling Kim
call them
Kardashian
raggedy B words.
all kind of horrible
She's
things.
a proven freak.
Okay.
She's a proven
but
hood
because she's not black,
I mean,
it's
no,
okay.
Kim Kardashian is a proven
stains,
bottom of the barrel, open the legs to every brother that want opportunity.
Having an
That's
argument
a fact.
like that in front of all while they're supposed to be doing their job.
Man, I'm not going to let you sit there and call them sisters the B word in my presence. Don't work like that. Kim Kardashian
what you gonna
is
do,
proven.
Raggedy B words. That's what they are.
Let me tell you something.
That's what
Let me
they
tell you
are,
something.
and their behavior was offensive.
At least,
and if they were
but
white,
at least,
if they were white,
at least
I would say the same
would
thing
sit
about
here
them. If they
and
were
show
Latino,
your true colors.
I would say the same thing
sit
about
here
them.
showing
But
your true colors.
It's okay to say every awful thing about
But
everyone that's
they
not
were
black.
calling each other
but if
the
a
B
black
word. You
person
didn't
does
call them
something
two
horrible,
raggedy B words.
It's Brother
You spoke
Puffy.
your real mind.
Brother Puffy's
You
innocent.
spoke what you really believe.
Yeah, I think they're raggedy B
And
words.
you didn't think as a brother I was going to sit here and call you out on it.
You're not calling me out because
I've
the thing
called
is,
you all the way out on it.
It doesn't matter what color they were, I'd say the same thing.
No, you ain't never
But
called
color,
a white woman the B word on the show.
That's absolutely not true.
What white woman you ever called the B word on the
and
show?
I only use that language because they were using it. Color only
Now that
matters
just gave
to
you the excuse
Color
to
only
say what was
matters
really
to
on
you.
your mind.
With you, it's all driven by race.
Look,
your perception.
I'm not surprised
of
that
every
Spirit
event-
Airlines have employees fighting on the job.
Okay.
They whoop customers on the job.
But that's
not shocking.
That's not raggedy.
But I will say this
That's
about
not
Spirit
raggedy.
Airlines.
Not to Quan
Now
L.
that they filed bankruptcy, what's going to happen to all of those employees that will no longer have a job?
Well, it's Chapter 11.
Thousands
so
will
they're
no
gonna
longer have a job.
Hopefully keep their jobs, right? That's
No,
what
it said in this story it said they're going to lay off employees,
Okay.
sell some airplanes,
Okay.
to try to raise revenue.
But the goal
So people gonna
is
lose their
to
jobs.
Obviously, when you're filed Chapter 11, but the goal is to keep as many jobs and to keep the business going as they can, right? But again, we're not talking about Chapter 11. We're talking to these two raggedy monsters fight with each other.
What makes
instead
them
of
monsters?
Because they're fighting on the job. You
So
know what
because
doesn't make them
people get
monsters?
into a
Hold
fist
on,
fight,
hold on,
they're
hold on.
monsters?
Okay.
But if two
Hold
white
on.
women got into a fight, would
let's
you
see.
call those white women monsters?
I'd say the same damn
no,
thing.
you would not.
And you'd be saying all
but
kind
when
of
you
horrible
but
things.
when you see
And
black
that's
women
no.
fighting, they're
See,
monsters.
no, see, the
Why are they
difference is-
monsters?
The difference is I criticize everyone irrespective of race. Your position.
You ain't never
on
called a white woman on
every-
this show a
your
monster
position-
or the B word
I
over
most-
a
I
fight,
most certainly have.
over a fist fight.
Your perception
They didn't even
of
fight.
every event
I didn't even see a
is
fight.
defined by
I didn't see a
skin
physical
color.
fight.
I just
I saw
listened
argument,
to you
not a fight.
on the last show, maybe an impassioned defense of Puff Daddy, the rapist monster who beat Cassie.
No, I
Because
said
black women
innocent.
don't matter
I
to
said
Quan L
innocent to
if a
proven
black
guilty.
man is accused.
No, black women are monsters and bees, according to you.
No, just those two.
What matters to me is justice.
And it has nothing
what
to do
matters
with
to me
the-
is fairness.
It has nothing
and
to
what
do
matters to me
with
is
the
that the
color of their
police
skin.
and also attorneys follow the rule of law. If they're going to prosecute P. Diddy, do it the right way.
Yeah, I know
That's
you
what
don't wanna
matters
talk.
to me.
So when two women, right, irrespective of their color, get in a fight on the job and call themselves a name.
They monsters?
And I quote the name that they called them.
They
Yes,
monsters.
Yes, two people that are fighting on the job. It's monstrous. It's a monster.
They
to
didn't
let
call
people do
themselves
it.
the B word.
Yes, they did.
One woman called that to another woman. She called her back that. But they didn't refer to themselves as the B word.
Right.
You put that on
Well,
them.
they called it to each other.
But you put that on them.
But I was
They didn't
quoting them.
identify as
But
that.
you're
You put
creating
that
a
on them.
false argument because you can't justify their behavior.
No, I
And
cannot
all you
allow
do-
you to try to
Oh, you're not
justify
gonna allow- you ain't my
calling
daddy.
two black
you ain't
women
gonna allow me to
monsters.
I'm gonna do whatever I
You
want
won't-
to do.
Let me tell you something,
I'm gonna
dude.
do whatever
You
I want to
think
do.
you will.
Oh yeah, I'm doing
You
it.
think you will.
I'm doing
but
it.
you know what? You'll be a white boy like Mississippi up in here.
Okay.
You'll get that Mississippi treatment up in here.
What's a white boy
You'll
like
get your
Mississippi?
behind whooped and kicked up in here.
Man, you
calling
could.
black women
You
to be
little
words.
midget
You-
self.
Look here.
You
look
couldn't
here.
even.
And I'm
you little
swole, partner.
boy, you couldn't
And I'm
even reach my
swole,
behind.
partner. I'll
Hey,
bitch press
hey,
you
for the
and
record,
Triple H you
he
up in
ain't
here,
gonna
partner.
do a damn thing.
I tell you what,
And
you'll
he
get
only
your
cares
white behind
because
kicked
of the
up in
race
here.
of the people.
Keep talking here.
Everything he does
Keep talking,
is based
homeboy.
on
You're
race.
going to get that mouth whooped.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, this is a cancellation. I know this is the time of the year where the family members get together, ain't it? Greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, turkey better with the dressing, ain't it? Wonder if I put a little bit of blood on the turkey, would it elevate it? Bloody, bloody, bloody people of color. Cut them, shoot them, burn them, leave them to suffer. This song is not about pilgrims and Indians kneeing each other and feasting for supper. This about millions of Indians murdered and villages burning and bleeding for nothing. This about all my descendants in Africa happy and acting like we ain't disgusted. Y'all be saying that ain't the reason we celebrate it. This about giving the glory to God and the time that we spend as a family, ain't it? That was so long ago, we weren't even alive. We gotta accept the changes. Sounding just like the white kids that be saying, forget about segregation. Murder and torture and slavery, they was really chopping Indian babies to pieces. Cut off the mama head, yeah, kick it around and play the street with you.
In this Next round, here's Quanell X.
Woo! I think that was the most graphic, in-depth music video that I've ever seen in regards to the Thanksgiving holiday. I call it Happy Thanks-taking. I don't call it Thanksgiving because it marks the day that the Pilgrims and those Europeans who came to what we know now as America took the land, and it was not given to them in some festive dinner celebration. But Charles, he went into graphic detail of the true history of Thanksgiving. He went into the reasons why we should not celebrate it. I would never be against any race of people celebrating, coming together as a family, having dinner, enjoying family company, getting to see each other who have not seen each other in a while. There's nothing wrong with that. But we have to begin to erase the theme of the holiday out of the children's minds, that it is something to celebrate when it comes to Christopher Columbus and those initial men and women who came here to discover what we know as America. We can't celebrate it the way we'll continue to celebrate it without telling the American children the total truth of the holiday. Can you imagine how Thanksgiving is celebrated on Indian reservations in this country? I guarantee they're not sitting down over turkey and saying, this is the day we met the Pilgrims and we all came together and had a great big dinner. If we're going to celebrate it, let the principles surpass the Holocaust of what took place with the Indians in this country, the Indigenous Americans.
I mean, this is just further evidence that you justify monstrous behavior based on skin color. This was a video, a music video, where an African-American man was rapping while acting out a slaughter of other African-Americans for having the audacity to celebrate a holiday, right? And you said, oh, this is brilliant. I don't even know the trash coming out of your mouth. It's absolutely absurd. That was gruesome, and it was, what was the word I used last time? It was monstrous, right? Trying to justify or rationalize using violence against people for celebrating a holiday you don't like is absolutely repugnant, and it goes contrary to the modern iteration of Thanksgiving, which is being thankful for your family, your loved ones, and the things that you have, right? Everything evolves. Now, you were talking about Christopher Columbus, because apparently you didn't pay attention in history, and of course Thanksgiving is downstream not from Columbus, which was an explorer for the Spaniards, but from the Puritan pilgrims who were being subjected to religious persecution, who came far later and came to Massachusetts, landed on Plymouth Rock, and that's where the first Thanksgiving holiday was celebrated, both with Native Americans and with pilgrims. Now, the atrocities committed by the conquistadors and atrocities committed by Americans who pushed for westward expansion, the Trail of Tears, it's all horrible. It is also stuff that is all taught in public education.
No, they don't teach that. That's a lie.
You're lying.
They don't teach that.
You lie because
Charles,
that's what you do.
He was not rapping about punishing black people or anybody for celebrating Thanksgiving. He was not rapping about killing black people for celebrating Thanksgiving. You go back and watch it. He was talking about what took place to the Indians. He was talking about what happened to the indigenous Indians that we call in this country. He was talking about the slaughter of them, not slaughtering black folks who celebrate the holiday, Charles.
In the video,
then
him
also
walking around shooting black people.
No, he was talking about what happened to. He was talking about what happened to the Indians by the Pilgrims.
Did you not watch the video, or you just
Charles?
Not smart
I watched
enough
it.
to pay attention?
I watched it, but one thing I don't like is
monstrous violence towards black people. I don't like that either.
No, he was talking about the white violence against Indigenous Americans, Indians, that we call Indians. Charles, what hurts me about this is, if a man sat here like you and tried to downplay the Holocaust.
I didn't try to downplay anything.
And downplay what took place in Germany against the Jewish people who suffered that Holocaust. He would be condemned and repudiated. You just sat here and tried to downplay America's original Holocaust of what took place by whites against the indigenous natives of this part of what we call America. And you just tried to downplay and whitewash that Holocaust. You would know better than Holocaust deniers who deny what Hitler did to the Jews. How are you any better?
Okay, much like the video, which you didn't pay attention to, where a man was walking around executing people for having the audacity to have a Thanksgiving dinner and justifying it. That's what the video was about, and I can't believe you would want to show it. It's abhorrent. I very clearly said, hey, no, look, we had the conquistadors, the westward expansion, the Trail of Tears, things that you've probably never read about, but it's fine. And it all needs to be taught and it all needs to be talked about. But it also, but what you do.
But white parents don't want that taught in school.
You are just.
White parents don't want that taught in school. Right in Texas, right here in Texas, they don't even want slavery to be talked about in school anymore.
How can you?
Charles, they are fighting now in Texas to redo curriculums, and because they say it makes white children feel bad to talk about slavery, it makes white children feel bad in schools to talk about what took place in the Indigenous Holocaust. You got parents leading a movement now all across the southern states to take that out of the history books.
So what you just did while complaining about racism, right, as you said, white parents don't want it, as if you can speak holistically in a negative fashion
No,
about
it's
all
white parents that's the leading spokespersons of it, and it's white parents at these rallies and protests that's fighting to take it out of the schools. It ain't no black and brown parents participating in that.
If someone talked, well, I'm sure there are, but if there's black and, but you talk about black and Latino people as if they're ideologically just one
I don't believe
mind,
that. I don't
they
believe
don't
that at
have
all.
individualism, right? You are a bigot, race bigot, whenever it suits you.
But
right?
you the bigot sitting there trying to deny Holocaust and whitewash it.
When did I do that?
But yet I'm the bigot.
When did I do that?
When you tried to downplay Christopher Columbus, whose real name was Christian Columbus, you tried to downplay his interaction with the Indians when they came, and you tried to downplay others who were involved in doing this and doing that.
The genesis of the holiday
needs to be adjusted.
had nothing to do with Columbus.
It's Happy Thanksgiving,
not
Thanksgiving.
I mean, maybe read a history book, Quanell.
No, read
maybe learn
history,
what you're talking
not
about.
His story.
And you know what?
And what we should not do.
Go ahead.
History is written by the conquerors and never the conquered.
Cancel Thanksgiving. We'll see how that works out.
The conquerors write history, not the conquered people.
Listen as these Native Americans describe in full detail the true history of Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, America. I'm Donna, and I'm here with my friends to tell you the real history behind this holiday. Growing up, I knew that what they told you in school about Thanksgiving wasn't true. That's not the true story. The true story behind Thanksgiving was, after every killing of a whole village, these European settlers celebrated it, and they called it Thanksgiving. But it wasn't until Abraham Lincoln became president that it became an official holiday.
He ordered 38 Dakota men to be hung for war crimes.
After the sacred holiday, Christmas.
We take this time to remember our elders who lost their lives due to what really happened. Usually my mom makes a Native American dish for us and we pray.
Growing up, I would be kind of annoyed that they didn't know what actually happened on Thanksgiving and that they're actually celebrating the deaths of many people and many tribes that were lost.
Charles, we just watched a video of several different indigenous women that we know as Indians in this part of the country talking about the real truth, their tribal truth of what took place surrounding what we know now as Thanksgiving. And one of the women was from the Dakota tribe, and she broke down some in detail of when these celebrations, these festivities would take place. I believe it's important, Charles, that when we do celebrate Thanksgiving, that we at least try the best of our ability to think about what indigenous people are feeling on that day. And we should try to make sure that we teach our children the principle of Thanksgiving is family, celebrating with one another. Nothing wrong with that. But we should also let our students and our children and each other know that there are tens of thousands of indigenous Americans on reservations, and they call this same very day the Day of Tears.
Okay, what I think is every year you trot out your Thanksgiving take for the TV cameras, and then you go home, and then the next day you have turkey and celebrate Thanksgiving with your beautiful family. And I think this is all a charade for the cameras to make you seem woke, right? Which is nonsense. With this last segment, you sprung both of these on me at the last minute. This last segment, when you talked about Christopher Columbus, I was just pointing out the fact that the origins of this holiday trace to the Puritans and not the Spanish explorer. You called that a minimization. The truth is, there are obviously deep wounds about how America treated, the United States now treated the Native Americans, Indigenous Americans early on. But if we get deeper than that, there was also a lot of violence, right? You talk about the pilgrims that went to Roanoke and disappeared, were butchered. There were some tribes that were incredibly violent, both to other Indigenous Americans and to the pilgrims that had moved here, and it led to a conflict. And of course, as you had more Europeans come over, just like we have the mass migration of the day.
So the Indians started the conflict?
No, some of them did sometimes.
They started the conflict?
Right. You had violent tribes,
when those
and you had peaceful
pilgrims
tribes.
started invading their land and taking their land.
A lot of the land
and raping their women.
Absolutely empty.
And these men that never saw women like that, and they was walking around so attractive, and they raped these women.
In North
so they were defending their land and their people.
Empty.
They started the conflict.
Very large civilizations in Central and South America, and portions of it, but overwhelmingly in North America, it was almost all empty land, right? There was plenty of room for people to coexist, and it is incredibly unfortunate.
America had the Apache, they had the Navajo, the Arapaho, the Chickawa, the Dakota, and many other tribes spread all over America.
And if you look at the numbers of people.
And they were massacred.
Okay. And
they were slaughtered.
And some of them were slaughtered just
and they
evilly,
were so cold.
And some of them engaged
General
in a war.
Amherst took blankets with smallpox and gave it to him during the winter.
I am not justifying.
And then we named a school after him
way,
and made statues after him.
The holiday of Thanksgiving is a time to celebrate your family and be thankful for what you have.
I agree with you on that.
No, you don't.
I do agree with you on that.
And you give this,
but Charles,
soliloquy
we cannot
about
let
the
our
evil
children
white man
believe that that's the total surrounding of the holiday.
Nonsense. You're going to be eating stuffing and turkey tomorrow.
Charles,
you're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow, and it's all
with
BS.
what happened to the Indigenous Americans.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I love all of y'all.
Happy Thanksgiving. That's what it is.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.